my name's Alex. I'm probably the youngest in the group for now. I basically got invited to the group by divine intervention for me. I made a commitment back in October to serve God and put God first in my life. And basically, a lot of stuff was going on with my girlfriend. She was bipolar, and she ended up having a relapse. And I knew she was going to need a strong man to lead her. And at that time, I was weak, and I was, drinking a lot, being intoxicated. And I happened to think that one night, God told me to lead her. And basically, a night that I was drunk, and I basically had a spark in my heart, and it really felt like it was him. And I never actually had experienced something like that before. So I took it for what it was, and I basically asked him, "How do you want me to lead her?" And he basically told me, "You love her, right? You love me, so just do it." And so very next day, she got taken away from me. She got put into a hospital, and a mental hospital, and I basically at that point made the commitment to put God first, to basically become a strong man for her. And uh, basically, I told God that I put everything in my entire life in front of Him: sex, women, drugs, alcohol, you name it, everything in my life. Even when I had that conversation with God, I even put my family, video games, I put everything in there. So I told God that someone revealed to me that He wanted me to fast from alcohol for 30 days. I said, I'm a go-getter. I'll give you 60 days. And basically, I made my commitment. And through that time, I got a random text message from our church pastor to meet up with him. And so I met up with him, and he got me connected with the group. The group's helped me out tremendously through my time, basically, in my walk, because when I do fall, the group reminds me of who God is, and how His love works, and that basically that His love is unconditional. After I started pursuing God, I slowly started dying to self, and it got me to the point where, as when I felt weak on alcohol, when I made that commitment, it made me a very strong man, and I was able to do lots of things. Little did I know that God was trying to prepare me for something else in my life, and because a few months later, my dad got murdered, and I was able to go through that process of being very strong, and so it was just kind of he just kind of met me in a place where I didn't really want to be found, and he kind of held my hand, and he really served everything for me on a silver platter. And when I first started going to this group, I thought, what are this? These are all older guys. I mean, what has it got to? What do they got to offer me? But they've offered so much to me, and they've been great support. As a matter of fact, one of the guys in the group was actually, when my father ended up going to the hospital, the whole group reached out to me. They came. They came to the hospital, hold my hand. Our leader Bob was actually in the room with me when we pulled the plug on my father, and Gary was there too. And just got tremendous support from the group, and love that really helped me go through those times that that God sent these people. And I always told people before that God's just He's not going to really hold your hand, physically and do it, but and He does in some ways. He'll send somebody at some time in your life when you need it. And so the best thing I can ever say about anything is just that if God's trying to get your attention, that I suggest you listen, because you never know what He might be preparing you for. I thought He was trying to prepare me to lead my girlfriend, but in reality, He knew I was going to need Him, because that was the worst fear in my life, was losing my father, and I did. And that was recently. That was probably about 2 months ago. So. Uh, you want to ask me any questions? I don't know what I answered.
Sure, man. What would you say to someone who is on the fence about coming over to the group? Like, how would you, I mean, what would you tell that person?
I would just basically just tell them how, if someone's on the fence in the group, I'd just tell them how it's impacted my life, and basically just exactly what I've told you. And it's just like when I go to the group, it reminds me that I'm not alone in my walk, and that there's just, the love. Love conquers all, and feelings, and that even when I do mess up, because I made it past my 60 days without drinking, but even when I do fall short, and I do that, I have someone picking me up right away, telling me that God loved us unconditionally, and that basically it helps you just get back up and keep going. I mean, the best thing that I can say too is that when my father got murdered, in my past, in my life, I've been a very angry and vengeful person, and it's once I started pursuing God, I was blessed with the gift to forgive right away the men who did it to my father. So that was a blessing because I know that if that didn't happen, that the anger and hate would destroy me, and that's truly a beauty in God's grace, honestly, and yeah.